So earlier today, the Dow Jones lost about 800 points. S&P 500 lost a point and a half. NASDAQ lost a point and a half. And the interest rates for 20-year Treasury bills went up over I think it was 5.12%, increased pretty dramatically. When the stock market indexes go down, it's usually because people are selling off stocks. When people sell off stocks and the stock market goes down like that, it's usually because things are in upheaval and they typically look for someplace safe to kind of store their money for a little bit. Historically, that has been U.S. Treasuries, bonds. Why do bond rates go up? Because not enough people are bidding on them. Why? Because they are viewed as an unstable asset. Moody's downgraded the United States credit rating last week for the first time ever for Moody's. And globally, investors are looking at the stock market as a bad bet, and they're looking at the bond market as a bad bet as well. Not enough people are bidding on bonds. Therefore, in order to sell them, the rate goes higher so that the return is higher. When we refinance our debt, our national debt that we owe other countries, in many ways it's based on that rate, which is going up, which will cost us hundreds of billions of dollars. A loss of confidence in U.S. fiscal management after a credit downgrade or deficit concerns can cause both stocks and bonds to be sold off. Rates go up as investors seek safer or more stable assets outside of the United States. The broader implications: high treasury yields, meaning high bond interest rates, often translate into higher interest rates throughout the economy, raising costs for mortgages, consumer loans, business financing, cars. Global impact: if the safe haven status of U.S. assets is questioned, global investors may demand even higher yields to hold U.S. debt, further pressuring both the bond and the stock markets. These things are terrible in the best of times. We're in a global trade war, specifically a trade war with China. Japan owns over $1 trillion worth of our debt. China owns about $800 billion worth of our debt. If our debt no longer becomes a good investment or a reliable investment, and let's face it, we have a president who's many millions of complete fucking morons in this country elected because he's the business man. He does business. He knows how to do business. He's the business man. They think he's good at business. What's one of the main things that he uses when he was in business? He used debt. And what did he used to do with his debt? He would default on it and renegotiate that debt on terms that were much more favorable to him and much less favorable to the entities holding that debt. If he does that with our national debt, that's the ballgame for the United States economy. He's already shredded all of our global alliances. Canada hates us, and they don't hate anybody. He's shredded our economic relationships around the globe. The global economic order is reordering itself without the United States. Economically, they want to drive all of us into poverty. And with the cuts, well, the virtual eradication of Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security's next up. There's no FEMA anymore. There's no real National Weather Service anymore. Hurricane season's right around the corner. He's firing 80% of the people at the VA. A third of the federal workers he's fired have been veterans. Their goal is to drive all of us into poverty and take away all of our health care. it's rapidly becoming a situation where it's like, will this country survive another 4 years of Donald Trump? To will individual Americans like actually physically survive another 4 years of Donald Trump? And it's not looking great.